Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, honorable thesis examiners and my esteemed thesis supervisor, Bapak Bayu Aji Aritejo. I would like to express my sincere gratitude to each of you for taking the time to assess my work and provide invaluable feedback. My name is Tasya Nabila Handaru from IP Management Batch 2018. Today, I'll be presenting my undergraduate thesis titled Engagement Indicators of Influencer Recommendations, Analyzing Their Impact on Perceived Risk and Buying Intention for Skincare Products. The first chapter is Introduction. One of the fastest growing segments of the beauty industry is skincare, which is valued at 130.5 billion US dollars in 2021. Furthermore, the use of digital marketing in the skincare industry has increased significantly over the past few years, with companies and brands using various online platforms to promote their products. Social media platforms such as Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok have become the go-to platforms for beauty enthusiasts to learn about new skincare products, routines, and trends. The use of influencers in the beauty industry has grown rapidly, and skincare brands have been using this marketing strategy to promote their products. Influencers are individuals who have built a following on social media platforms and have established themselves as experts in their respective fields. However, concerns have emerged about the credibility and trustworthiness of influencers' product recommendations, particularly in the skincare industry. Many influencers have been criticized for promoting products that they do not use, leading to questions about their authenticity and credibility. Furthermore, perceived risk is a crucial factor that influences consumer behavior in the skincare industry. It is defined as the degree of uncertainty or concern that consumers experience when making a purchasing decision. So these problems are formulated. Consumers may rely heavily on influencer recommendations when making purchasing decisions and may not have the necessary knowledge or expertise to assess the potential risks. Influencers may not always disclose their relationships with brands, which can lead to a lack of transparency and trust issues among their followers. The skincare industry is highly competitive, and companies may be tempted to use deceptive or manipulative advertising techniques to gain a competitive advantage. Previous research has examined the effectiveness of influencer marketing in various industries, but limited research has been conducted on the impact of perceived risk in skincare product recommendations. Cabeza Ramirez and co-writers have examined the relationship between perceived risk and purchase intention of fashion products recommended by influencers. They observed how engagement indicators, which include number of likes, comments, and shares, have an effect on the perceived risk of the influencer's message. They also looked into other factors, which includes perceived authenticity, product involvement, and attitude towards purchasing. Although this research has given a broad understanding of influencer marketing and perceived risk, the research only focuses on fashion influencers and products. This still leaves a gap regarding the relationship towards skincare. From the research background and research problem that have been found, these questions are formulated. The objectives of this research are to determine the relationship between engagement indicators and the perceived authenticity of the message conveyed by the influencer, to examine the impact of perception of risk on attitude and purchase intention of recommended products, to explore the relationship between product involvement through skincare consciousness and the perceived authenticity of the influencer's message and attitudes toward purchasing recommended products, to determine the effect of the perceived authenticity of the sponsored message on the attitude and purchase intention of recommended products, and lastly, to assess the influence of attitude towards purchasing products recommended by influencers on the intention to purchase recommended products. This research is a replication of the article Impact of the Perceived Risk in Influencers' Product Recommendations on Their Followers' Purchase Attitudes and Intentions by Cabeza Ramirez and colleagues. The object is skincare products, and the subjects are Indonesian female aged 18 to 35 who use skincare and follow skincare influencers. Moving on to the second chapter, a comprehensive literature review were done to determine the theoretical framework of this research. Engagement indicators is a range of observable actions and behaviors that reflect individuals' interactions with online content. Perceived authenticity is the degree to which the audience perceives the influencer's message to be sincere, honest, and trustworthy. Perceived risk is the level of uncertainty that consumers perceive when they are thinking about making a purchase and believe that it may not turn out as expected. Involvement is the personal significance or relevance of a product category to a consumer. Attitude is a learned predisposition to consistently respond favorably or unfavorably to a specific object. Subjective norm is how the individual perceives the social pressure or expectation to act in a certain way. Perceived behavioral control is the extent to which people believe they have control over the event in their lives. And lastly, buying intention is a person's plan or intended action to purchase a specific product. From the literature review, this research has a hypothesis that engagement indicators positively affects perceived authenticity and perceived risk. Perceived authenticity positively affects buying attitude and intention and negatively affects perceived risk. Perceived risk has a negative effect towards buying attitude and intention. Involvement has a positive effect towards perceived authenticity, buying attitude, and buying intention. Lastly, attitude, subjective norm, and perceived behavioral control all have a positive effect towards buying intention. This research uses a quantitative approach with a survey design. The survey uses a 5-point Likert scale ranging from strongly disagree to strongly agree. The measurement items of each variable are adopted and modified from previous research. Engagement indicators refer to the individual's assessment of whether an influencer's skincare recommendation content receives a significant amount of engagement and will be shown through the number of likes, comments, and shares. Perceived message authenticity is measured regarding an individual's perception or belief that an influencer shows authenticity and reliability with their suggestions, posts, and opinions for skincare products. Perceived risk refers to the degree of risk or disadvantages that an individual feels when buying skincare products based on an influencer's recommendation. Involvement is defined as skincare consciousness, which is how much an individual knows about skincare products and how much they enjoy things related to skincare products and skincare routine. It measures the degree of consumer interest and involvement in skincare products. Attitude towards buying a skincare product recommended by an influencer refers to an individual's opinion of how much they perceive or believe this action as something desirable. Subjective norm refers to the influence of family, friends, and other important people on the participant's decision to buy skincare products recommended by influencers. Perceived behavioral control measures the degree of an individual's control of their purchase decision from the influencer's skincare product recommendations. And lastly, buying intention is defined as the participant's behavioral intentions to purchase the product recommended by the influencer. The sample of this research are Indonesian female aged 18 to 35 years old who use skincare products and follows any skincare influencer of their choice. Purposive sampling is used to find a minimum of 170 respondents. A Google form questionnaire is given out through social media platforms such as Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. To analyze the data, SEM-PLS method is employed using Smart PLS software. The measurement model and structural model are analyzed. Measurement model analysis include the testing of convergent and discriminant validity and reliability. Structural model analysis include the testing of collinearity, goodness of fit, and hypothesis. From the survey that was given out on May 24 to July 14, 2023, this research obtained a total of 178 responses where 100% of the respondents are female, due to the determined sample of this research. The respondents' age are dominated by individuals between the age of 18 to 29 years old. The respondents' domicile are dominated by people from Java Island, and the last form of education of the respondents are mostly dominated by individuals with a bachelor's degree. The respondents' income per month all differ, but the dispersion of the responses are mostly equal. The respondents were asked to choose their most frequently used social media, and it is dominated by Instagram and TikTok. They were also asked to choose their preferred skincare shopping method, and the dispersion of the answers are relatively equal. The survey gave 10 options of relevant Indonesian skincare influencers that the respondents should choose for the basis to answer the survey questions. They are also allowed to choose any other influencers that are not on the list. And lastly, they are asked to state which skincare products have been recommended by their chosen influencer. From the measurement model evaluation, the outer loadings of all items are greater than 0.7, showing that more than 50% of information from each indicator has been accounted for by the latent variables. The AVE of all variables exceed the minimum threshold of 0.5, indicating that they are valid. The cross-loadings table show that all of the indicator's outer loadings on its attributed construct are greater than any of its cross-loadings with other constructs, showing that the construct possesses unique characteristics and captures phenomena that are not accounted for by the other constructs. The Fornell-Larker criterion also revealed that the bolded values on the table, which is the square root of AVE for every construct, are greater than the highest correlation with any other construct, indicating their validity. The HDMT ratio of each indicator does not exceed the threshold of 0.9, showing that they are valid. The Cronbach's alpha value of the variables are greater than 0.5, and the composite reliability are in the range of 0.6 to 0.95, indicating that they are reliable. This research also shows the descriptive statistics to show the dispersion of the data. For the structural model evaluation, the VIF value in this research are all below 5, indicating that there is no multicollinearity. The SRMR and NFI values in this research also fulfilled the determined threshold, indicating that it is a good model fit. The R-squared value shows that the variable perceived message authenticity, perceived risk, and attitude have a moderate predictive power, and the variable buying intention has a substantial predictive power. The F-squared shows the effect size of each path diagram of the variables, and the results are all consistent with the hypothesis testing results, which will be shown in the next section. And the Q-squared value of the variables in its research are all greater than 0, indicating that the model demonstrates predictive relevance and is able to successfully predict the endogenous constructs. The hypothesis testing results show that all the hypotheses have a t-statistics value higher than 1.96 and p-values lower than 0.05, indicating that all hypotheses are significantly supported. This figure shows a path diagram between the variables where the green line indicates a positive effect and the red line indicates a negative effect. Based on the previously discussed analysis, this research concludes the following points. Engagement indicators, which includes likes, comments, and shares, have a positive impact on perceived message authenticity and a negative impact on perceived risk. Perceived message authenticity was found to have a positive impact on the buying attitude and buying intention, but have a negative impact on perceived risk. Perceived risk has a negative impact on both consumers' buying attitude and buying intention. Involvement, measured by skincare consciousness, has a positive impact on perceived message authenticity, buying attitude, and buying intention. Lastly, attitude, subjective norm, and perceived behavioral control all have a positive impact on buying intention. Perceived risk was found to significantly reduce buying attitude and intention. This research examines perceived risk in relation to the person's sense of exposure to potential risk when purchasing and using influencer-recommended skincare products, along with the uncertainty regarding the outcomes of these purchases. So, providing accurate information can help mitigate perceived risks. Brands should request influencers to clearly highlight the benefits, usage instructions, and potential results. Brands can also address common doubts and concerns through content or FAQs. Offering money-back guarantees or product trial can provide consumers with added reassurance, further reducing perceived risks. For marketers, choosing influencers with a track record of trustworthiness is crucial. Since the perceived risks relate to uncertainty, collaborating with influencers who align with the brand's values and have a genuine connection with their audience can boost the perceived message authenticity, reducing perceived risk associated with influencer endorsements. Brands should also ensure that influencers disclose sponsored content. Transparent disclosure builds trust and credibility with the audience, minimizing the risk of backlash from potential non-disclosure. The number of engagement indicators help reduce perceived risk. Marketers can utilize this by choosing influencers that have an active audience engagement through comments. This research explores involvement in relation to skincare consciousness, and involvement has a positive impact towards buying attitudes and intentions. So, a content that successfully reaches an audience with a high involvement can potentially lead to a purchase. Creating content with in-depth reviews, ingredient analysis, and detailed skincare routines can be interesting for audiences with a high skincare consciousness. Perceived behavioral control has a statistically significant positive effect towards buying intention. Brands can utilize this by providing seamless and user-friendly purchasing experiences. A transparent pricing, shipping info, and accessible customer service can also increase confidence in purchasing. This research was conducted in Indonesia, which may limit the generalizability of the findings globally. A more geographically diverse sample should be considered in future studies. The data collected for this study relied on self-reported survey responses, and there may be errors and biases. Incorporating detailed objective measures or behavioral data in future studies can enhance accuracy. Although the exploration of variables were comprehensive, there may be additional variables that affect skincare influencer marketing, so further research can explore confounding variables to provide a broader understanding. The study focuses on skincare products and may not apply to other product categories such as food and beverages, etc. So, a cross-category research can be useful. Consumer behavior in influencer marketing can change, so the findings should be periodically reevaluated. Lastly, there is a sample bias towards Indonesian females aged 18-35 with skincare routines. Further research can include a more diverse representation. That concludes my presentation. Thank you very much for your time and attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.